Welcome to Crave the Rave, a naughty podcast for old school ravers who need a fix of the rave. I'm Lady Bizarre.
And I'm Jess the Mess.
On each episode, we'll be reminiscing over hilarious, embarrassing, and downright mental stories from our raver days. Think trippy tales, fezzy fails, and stories from the sesh.
We've seen, heard, and done it all.
And we bet you have too. So join us for a trip down memory lane. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Crave the Rave. I'm Lara.
And I'm Jess the Mess. Well, I was the mess.
Woo!
I'm just Jess now.
Yeah, you lost the mess.
But you've been a mess, haven't you? You've been out, haven't you, from what I saw on Instagram?
Uh-huh.
Last time I saw you, you were saying that you were really tired and that you weren't going out. And then the next thing I see on your Instagram, you're out and about on the tune, raving it up.
On the dune. Yes, I've been out on the dune. Yes, that is true. I feel like a different human today. When we last spoke, I literally felt like I'd just come off the back of a 10-day bender or something. And now I'm sat in this lovely sweaty cupboard and I'm thinking, life is good and I am full of beans. Well, not actually
beans. Who said beans?
Oops. No. None of the beans from back in the day, but just full of beans.
I feel like that's what a good rave will do to you, though. Sort of like, gets down your hair.
Yeah, revitalized. Especially because I didn't take any beans. That's why I feel so good.
And how was it?
Yeah, it was really, really good. So I was out in Tulum with a couple of friends. I went to WWII, which is quite a, famous spot there. To be honest, like, for me personally, I like a bit more of like a kind of, I know you're the same, like a bit more of like a dirty rave. And this is like very much like everyone looks so beautiful. Everyone looks like they've just walked out of Burning Man, but walked into Burning Man on the first day. They're not grumpy, they're not dusty, they're fresh, they've got all the fancy garms and they're looking good. It's very much like that.
I wouldn't say Burning Man is a good way to say that everyone's looking good. Burning Man, everyone's covered in dust and there's no showers at Burning Man. If that's your point of what people look like looking good, I'm confused.
That's what I'm saying, walking into Burning Man. No, because everyone's got those like fancy outfits, right? With like tassels and like kind of almost like chokers. And no? Have you not seen that?
Not really.
Maybe more Coachella. I don't know. But anyway, in Tulum, everyone looks like very Burning Man. Have you seen the style of people in Tulum?
Yeah, I know that vibe, yeah.
Tuluminati, everyone calls it. It's like the Tuluminati. Yeah. It's a specific look. There's a lot of men in linen, men in white and cream, beige linen. Everything's beige in Tulum. It's really funny. Bit like my food, what you used to say about my food. You used to say everything I eat is beige, right? Chicken nuggets, chips.
Yeah, it was everything you ate. No, you had ketchup that was red, but everything else was beige. Beige. Oh, just like mixed together, and it had colours, but it ended up brown at the end.
Oh!
Because you just mixed all the colours up together. Like Baby D's Play-Doh. She had all the colours, mixed them together, they come out brown. I feel like that's what you would do when you'd cook. The stuff on the side would look lovely, but by the time it ends up on the plate, it just looked like brown mush.
Wow.
I think I remember you dropping it on the floor once and picking it up and scooping it back in and then offering it around to everybody.
What the mush? Shut up. You're really not making me sound like an eligible bachelorette. So can you not? Why am I single? Because I'm scooping my dinner off the floor and it looks like it's come out the back end of someone. Perfect. Anyone want to marry me?
My girl's single. She's great in the kitchen. She can turn colourful food to brown mush.
No, we'll have fun in the kitchen. It just won't be involving cooking.
But how was it at Burning Man? Not Burning Man. How was it?
At Vagaloon,
how was it at Vagaloon?
Baby, in Tulum, baby. Yeah, do you know what? It was good. The music was popping off. It was great. But like, the thing is, so luckily my friend used to dance there, and so we got guest lists. Funny because we were talking about getting guest lists and how nice that is. They were so strict on the door, like women don't care about all that. They're like, no, you're not coming in. No, it's like very much like computer says no, sorry, with this like gorgeous smile, no. Anyway, we managed to get in, but the drinks in there, I mean, Tulum is the kind of place that you would spend $27 on a mojito. Like, that's the vibe. It's very expensive. So we parked across the road and we had a very expensive but nice bottle of mezcal in the car. And once you get your stamp, you can go in and out. So we were just popping to the car and doing shots of the mezcal, which is mezcal is really nice. It gives you a bit of a boost, and you don't need much of it. So it's a strong liquor. I don't know. Anyways, it was good. So I had a great night. We danced I was gonna say the night away, but I think we were home by 1 a.m. But yeah, it was fun.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a crazy one. It weren't a crazy one, but we danced like crazy, which was fun. It was good to break free of the partner dance zouk situation. So yeah,
that's fun. That's really good fun.
Yeah, and what about you? You been raving, Jess? The non-mess?
No, I haven't been raving. No, I haven't been raving. Talking of Burning Man, would you ever go to Burning Man Festival?
I've thought about this a lot. Well, people talk about it and they're like, I can't believe you haven't been to Burning Man, Lara.
Yeah.
Because obviously it is like the one, but I don't know. For me, it just seems like a lot of hassle. I don't know. Like, that being said, I know I would have a good time. It would get dusty and wild and dirty, and I like the idea of it, but it does seem like a lot of effort, man.
I agree. And I feel like you're covered in dust. I don't think I could get over. You'd be fine with that part.
I actually would be fine.
I don't think I wouldn't be all right with the dust. And you got to trade everything, don't you? You don't bring any money.
Yeah.
So you got to bring everything of your own. I just feel like, I'd be panicked that I'd run out of stuff. I reckon I'd be not handing out. Well, I'd probably get fucked and start handing out all of my supplies for everything. And then before you know it, day 2, I got no water left. I got no toilet roll. I got nothing going on because I'd given it all a bloody way. And I just always think about the man that ran into the fire.
Oh, no, don't.
Like, at the end.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? I think, oh, God, I don't know if I could enjoy it. I think I'd be constantly thinking about that.
Oh,
so
yes.
I don't know if it's for me. It's apparently you need loads of money to go as well because you've got to hire an RV. I think day 1 would be fun. I think day 2, day 3, I'll be like, I've had enough now.
I reckon I could make it through it.
The heat would be too much. But yeah, my brain, whenever I go to any events, my brain always goes overdrive of thinking about like the risks involved. Sometimes so much that like, honestly, it can ruin my night. I had, I don't know if it's because of this, but it definitely added to this. But when I was at uni, I studied events and I did a whole module in risk. And honestly, they showed us the most terrifying videos of events that had gone wrong. And it just, like, I know that if I went to Burning Man, I'd look at that fire and I'd be freaking out. I know I would. And there's, like, loads of times when I've gone places and I literally have a freak out because I just think about, where's the risk assessments? Who's been doing the risk assessments? Yeah, like, I mean, the worst time that this ever happened was I had just studied risk. And we went to an illegal rave. It was the most incredible rave. Probably one of the most amazing experiences I'll ever experience in my whole life. It was in a World War II bunker on the outskirts of Manchester. We had to call a number at midnight and then the voicemail gave us the address.
That's old school. I love that.
We all jumped in a cab. We headed out there. It was like Salford ways. Everyone had head torches and stuff. We got out the cab and there's like loads of people walking all in the same direction. We go through like a opening in the woods and we're all walking and it's pitch black. Everyone's walking, heading the same way, heading the same way, heading the same way. Now, prior to me studying events, I would have been hyped up. I would have been literally running there, like couldn't wait. I just kept thinking, okay, this is going to be crushing. People are going to be crushing. People are going to be falling over logs. People are going to be getting lost. It's too dark. My brain was going so over the top. Anyway, we all like bottleneck into like what is just basically a door.
Wow.
Because obviously a World War II bunker is like underground. So it's just one door above. It's a flat roof. And then underneath it was unreal. But we got to that point and it was like a bottleneck and everyone's squeezing in, and we're
Oh
shuffling
my
in, shuffling. I'm
God.
quite small. So I had like there's a lot of guys' shoulders around me and stuff. Shuffling. And I got to the point I was like, I can't go in. I'm too scared. I can't go in. I've started to feel a bit claustrophobic and a bit freaked out about it. So I was like, I can't go in. Anyway, I stepped to the side. Me and my mates took a moment and everyone else went in. It took me like hours. I didn't really mind because on top, everyone's having a really good time. Like, it's a big, massive flat roof. So everyone was just sitting out on top of it and like, it was so many people there. I can't even fucking tell you.
How many do you think it actually was?
A couple of thousand.
Okay.
A couple of thousand. Because I finally plucked up the courage to go in, right? And to this day, it'll probably be the most amazing sight that my eyes have ever seen. So you go through that one door, which is freaking me out because there's one door and there's loads of people in there. And if there's a fire, how do they all get out?
Yes.
Because that was what my brain was also going mad about, right? Anyway, went in. And there's like one massive room, huge, massive room that is massive, big, vast, wide, deep, right? But all the way around it is 5 different levels. And then on those levels, it's almost like a balcony, but it's just concrete. So when I went in, I looked over like the top level. You look down into the massive room, but then it's full of people raving. But then on the outside of the levels, which are like the balconies, if you get what I mean, there's just people all there all the way up. So you've got 5 sort of like rounds of people also just raving.
Wow.
With like not much light. Like the light was like strobe lights, and it absolutely blew my mind. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was so fucking sick.
Was it a free party?
It was free, yeah. It was a legal rave. But I couldn't enjoy it, Lara. I could not fucking enjoy it. I was panicking. I was worrying about it. It took away the fun. And I was telling everyone else around me this as well, so I was spoiling their fucking fun.
I bet everyone was like, stop killing my vibe, man.
Yeah! And then I came back out. I didn't go down. I actually was too claustrophobic to go down. And then I came out and like people had started like lighting bonfires around the woods and just sitting around. Oh, that freaked me out as well. I'm thinking, where's the fire extinguishers and stuff? I must have been such a fucking killjoy because I literally was like, this is a fire hazard. This is awful. Anyway, we stayed there till the morning. I chilled out a bit. It emptied out a bit in there. I still didn't go fully in, and we hung out on the roof a lot and was chatting to people up there and stuff. And the police came in the morning, and they were cool. They knew there was too many people to be able to do anything. They knew there was one door. If the police go in that door and everyone panics, that is a recipe for disaster. And they obviously knew that. So they just hung around the edges and they came and chatted to us and they're like, are you okay?
And you said, no, I'm not actually. That's a huge,
I said,
there's a huge safety issue in there.
I said, where have you been? We could have done with you 12 hours ago, mate.
You called them yourself.
Yeah, you're finally here. Thank you. It took you 12 hours to get down here.
Can you do something about these 10,000 people? They don't know how much danger they're in. Has anyone got a megaphone?
Everyone else sees the police and goes, oh, fucking hell. And I'm going, oh, fucking hell. They're here.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, so yeah, that's how my brain works. It's calmed down a lot.
Wow.
Well, has it? I don't know. I haven't been out enough to say if it's calmed down or not. I haven't been to an illegal rave for a long time.
Can I ask what music it was?
Yeah, it was like techno.
Techno?
It was like tech house, I reckon.
Okay.
I didn't spend enough time in there to hear the actual music. People were playing music on the outside, just out of speakers and stuff. I just couldn't do it. I honestly couldn't do it. It's a bit of a regret of my life because that was actually probably potentially the best rave of my life. I just didn't fucking rave.
That sounds so sick. I'm so pissed I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was a really good one. Oh my God, do you remember when we went to the illegal rave at that massive house in Hampton? Hampton?
No, it was Hampstead Heath.
Hampstead.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you remember it?
I know exactly what you're going to say. Are you going to say Vanity Lair?
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. Yes,
That
yes,
was
yes, yes,
mad.
yes.
That was my birthday.
That was so good. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Well, we ended up turning up at this mansion house in Hampstead Heath, and we walk in the door, and oh my God, this mansion was so plush with like, the problem is I don't really remember.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were going with this.
I don't actually remember.
So, all right, I'll tell it. I was wondering if you actually remembered, because I bet you don't. So it was my birthday. We had mates that were squatting in this mansion in Hampton. Hampton, oh, bloody hell, where is it?
It's Hampstead Heath in London.
Hampstead Heath.
Which is a very, very affluent, fancy place where a lot of celebrities live. It's incredibly expensive to live in these houses.
That's right. And we heard about this rave because our friends knew people that were squatting there. And the password to get in was, do you remember?
I honestly don't know.
Of course you don't. The password to get in was, "We are your friends."
Oh, okay.
And then we got in there and it was like 3 floors, and Vanity Lair, the T4, Channel 4 program, which had like loads of vain people in a house, a bit like Big Brother, but they had to rate each other on how good looking they were. Thinking of that, that's not ever going to be something that would come on TV again. Anyway, they had to line up as how good looking they are and stuff. And then, but Channel 4 had been in this house and had done it up to the nines for the program. And then they'd left, but it was all decorated really wacky and crazy. And there was little bits left, like bits of furniture or light fittings and stuff. It was really crazy. And so we all went in, and the people that were squatting there had set up a bar. You could get everything you could ever imagine. And then we went in, and then there was like people that had taken like the artwork off the walls. Because it wasn't real artwork, it was for Channel 4. And had like put their heads through the artwork where the painting, where the face of the painting would be.
I remember that. I've got pictures of that.
So they're walking around like that, and it was just fucking crazy. Had 2 massive grand staircases that led up to the top.
Yes, I remember that bit.
And then we were in one room that was like painted as clouds or something. We were in there hanging out. That was like where our mates were. But people went up to the top floor, and there was people like proper like shooting up and stuff. There was a bit of a weird vibe up there, which we didn't really, obviously we didn't get involved in. I was going to say, we didn't get involved in. Of course we didn't get involved in that.
I didn't even go in there, but I heard the stories. I heard the tales.
Yeah, I actually didn't see it myself.
Tales from the top.
Yeah, we were there. We were there for fucking days, right, partying. And I do remember that towards the end, these people came in and they started robbing the copper wiring.
Yes.
From the house. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? There was these like little gremlin men that are coming and getting the wiring and getting the copper out the wiring.
Yeah, it took a funny turn, didn't it? We didn't care. We were all just sort of rolling around on the floor having a great time.
Oh, we didn't care. We were having the best time. But you know what? That's one of those things where like one of those moments where I think, God, if my mum and dad really knew what I was getting up to. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If my mum and dad saw me now, they wouldn't believe their eyes. They wouldn't believe it if I came home and said, Channel 4 have moved out of this house, we need some squatters in there, the password was "We are your friends" and got in there and we got fucked up, and there's people doing heroin on the top floor, there's people stealing the copper wiring, my mate lost his mind and started shouting bacon and beans off the banister. Like,
bacon and beans?
Could you imagine? Yeah. Do you remember? Pete was shouting bacon and beans and everyone's like, he's lost his mind.
I remember people doing a lot of balloons, and I remember you rolling backwards and flashing your knickers.
Well, that was a regular occurrence in my life, isn't it, really?
That isn't it, or wasn't it? It was. Yes.
Not anymore. Well,
that's why I thought a really appropriate gift, I remember, for your wedding was to get you a garter. And I thought, if your wedding dress lifted up and me weirdly on my knees.
No. Put that into context. That's not while at the wedding. I stayed sober at the wedding pretty much for the last hour or two. I wasn't rolling around the wedding showing my bum. Fuck's sake, Laura.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was saying, like, that's why I thought it was a funny
No, it was a
gift
good
to
gift.
get you
It was
for
a
your
great
wedding.
gift, but I wasn't rolling up. What you made out then was that I was rolling around the wedding with my bum out, rolling around my legs. I fucking wasn't for the first and only time. I wasn't doing that. All right.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying like that's why I thought it was a good gift, because I was like, the amount of times I've seen you roll back with some flashy knickers on a night out. Anyway,
Bloody hell, Lara, it's my wedding day. I'm not going to be rolling around with my bum out on my wedding day. I mean, all my family are there, for God's sake. My mum and everybody. I don't want to... I was trying to act really together on my wedding day. But thank you. It really was a lovely present. Not that if my mum and dad hadn't been there, I would have been rolling around. It was my wedding day, you know. But yeah, by the way, I found out that my mum has been listening to the podcast. Yeah, she's not impressed.
No.
She says too much swearing and too much talking about drugs. Yes, Mum, if you're listening, Faye told me. So,
oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
oh my
so,
God.
I mean, do you remember when we were planning this podcast, we were like, God, imagine if our parents listen. But, well, they are. Well, mine are. Are yours? Do you reckon yours are?
I don't think so. Like, this is when it's good, piggybacking off what we said last week about technology and nan-tech and all that. My mum is nan-tech, so luckily I don't think she doesn't understand Spotify or doesn't really, she definitely doesn't listen to podcasts, so that's in my favour. But my dad, I don't think my dad has time. I don't think they care. I think also, like, my parents have always had the opinion of, like, we'd rather just not know.
If they don't know, it don't hurt.
yeah, like they try not to ask too many questions, because I think then they know they're not going to like the answers.
I just feel like I got to an age now where I have done it all, and I ended up being a lovely human being.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mum and Dad. That is down to you. And if anything, raving added to my life.
I agree.
To a point where I'm even nicer to human beings.
Yeah, that's it, right? Like,
so I've done nothing wrong.
Yeah, no, we just lived our life and had a lot of, we've had a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun, but I think, like, we've turned out as good humans, right?
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about the world and
Yeah.
connecting with humans and people, and like having these amazing times together. It's made our friendship so strong, and we've been on a lot of adventures, and somehow we survived all of them.
Yeah.
Luckily.
It's not as if my parents were angels when they're younger anyway. I know that they've got stories that they haven't shared with us, or there's a few things that we've heard along the way. So, Mum, you're no angel yourself, you know. I actually get it. I get it from you. I always laugh about when my mum and dad, we were going to France for Christmas, and it was around the time of foot and mouth. And that was a really big thing.
Foot and mouth disease.
Yeah, and we were driving over, and my mum was bringing loads of raw meat, which is like a big no-no. And we were like smuggling turkey, sausages, pigs in blankets. The whole shebang was in the cars. There was like 3 cars, and everyone had like certain amounts of meats and whatever. Like everyone was
in
like,
case one car got caught, you mean you divided it between the 3 cars?
Yeah, and everyone was so shook.
Well, that feels familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. Everyone was so shook driving through customs. It's like we were smuggling drugs, for fuck's sake. We might as well have been, because everyone was terrified. My mum was going, just drive, keep driving. My dad was like, just to get through past the customs bits that we didn't get stopped. Because if we had, you might have got a fine, actually. I guess we didn't get it over there. We'd have had to act dumb. But yeah, I do remember that. But I've also got a funny story about my dad. So years ago, not that long ago, a few years ago, my sister got given a hash cake by somebody. And she brought it home. And at the time, Ashley wasn't smoking weed. He gave up weed years ago. But she thought, Ashley might want that. So she put it in my mum and dad's kitchen in a Tupperware for Ashley later. Anyway, she didn't tell my dad or my mum that it's a hash cake. And later on, she got a text from my dad, and he said, I hope you don't mind, just eating your last brownie. And then my sister was like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. So she called up my dad, and she said, Dad, I got to tell you, that was for Ashley. It's a really strong hash cake. And he was like, oh, no, okay. Anyway, he's like, I'm sure I'll be fine. Then we catch up with him like the next day, and he said he got really, really, really paranoid. He said he was watching the news and he thought that they were talking about him. And he kept thinking that the police were going to turn up and knock on the door. And he went for a nap. He felt really out of sorts. So he went upstairs for a nap. And he kept looking at the time and he was thinking it was hours and it was like 3 minutes. And we were cracking up because it serves you right for just finding a random cake and eating it and being like, ha ha, I've eaten the cake that's in the kitchen. But honestly, it was so funny to just think about my dad going through that. Like when you're 16 years old and you get stoned and it's horrible. I could just imagine going through that now as a 60-year-old man. It's hilarious.
Oh, was your mum there to take care of him or was he on his own?
She was there, but I don't think she had much time for him, to be honest. When I think she just let him get on with it. She must. I think we did tell her. I can't remember. It was a few years ago, but it was really funny thinking about my dad going through that. And then afterwards, he was like, "God, that was some strong stuff, man."
Oh, yeah, because your dad's definitely not like a weed smoker.
No, not at all. Of course not. Anyway, so yeah, Mum and Dad, if you're listening to the podcast, I got juice on you as well. All right.
Wow, yeah.
Has there been a time when you've thought about, oh my God, what if my parents were to see me now?
God, any time that I've been on the sesh, literally.
Yeah.
I think especially at festivals. I think when I'm at a festival and things are taken to the next level, I think...
I remember you at Boomtown once. We were with my cousin and we were camping with my cousin and her like close mates, and then they had another group of mates.
I'm like, where are you going with this? I'm like, what are you going to say?
Do you remember this?
I don't know what you're going to say.
We went over to the other group of mates and then you went, oh my God, someone's got their mum and dad here. Someone's here with their mum and dad. And it was the bloody group of mates that were my cousin's group of mates.
Oh.
And we were like, they were like, yeah, that's Diddler's mum and dad. And we were like,
oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, Boomtown, out of all of them to be out with your mum and dad, that is not a place to go with your mum and dad. You could do Glastonbury with your mum and dad, fine, just don't camp together. And you could do loads of festivals with your mum and dad, just don't camp together. But Boomtown, Jesus Christ, what are grown-ups doing in Boomtown?
That's a mess fest.
Yeah.
That is a messy fezzy. I will say that I probably wouldn't go to any festivals with my parents, but I did go for a day festival to City Splash in London, which was like reggae, bit of drum and bass, bit of jungle, bit of like Heartless Crew, and my parents fucking loved it. Basically, my mum, she had told me that there was this reggae festival, and I immediately was like, oh no, I don't know, it's not really my thing. You could ask my sister. So then a little while later, she sent me the like a little picture of the lineup that she'd taken. And I looked at it and I was like, hang on a second. Because obviously like the headliners were like old school reggae artists. But like I looked below and I was like, wait, Heartless Crew, like Jumpin' Jack Frost. So I was like, suddenly, and I was like, wait a second, I'll be down for this. So I ended up going with my mum, my dad, and my sister. And it was so fucking cute.
I remember the stories. I remember the stories were just like adorable. The four of you in like a little square dancing at each other. And then like so many people were like, is Lara at a festival with her mum and dad? And I was like, it's just a day festival. My
dad dancing to Jungle was the funniest thing I've fucking ever seen. Oh my God. I remember my mum because my mum is like a cleanliness queen, so she like loves to wash her hands, but like she makes a whole operation about it. Like if she's gonna go to the toilet before we leave the house, you have to leave another half an hour for her to wash her hands. So she was fully prepared for COVID. Like when COVID happened, she was teaching us how to do it. And so because she washes from fingertip to elbow, and it's like intense. So and she does the whole like individual fingers, and it looks like it's just very weird. Anyway. It looks like you're tossing off your fingers, like when you probably get in there, like, and I'm like, I don't like that you do that, okay? But it really lavas it up. But anyway, when we were at this festival, she squirted so much soap onto her hands. thinking it was hand gel, and there wasn't sinks. So my mum squirted, like, she thought it was hand gel, so she squirted all this. I don't know why the hell they had soap but no water. But it was soap on the side of one of the like portaloos, and so she squirted loads of it, and she was just rubbing her hands together, and it just became more and more and more foamy, and it was just really funny. I was cracking up, but yeah. And then my dad was like bouncing up and down to Jungle. It was very, 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 very cute. I highly recommend that festival though. It was
Where
really,
was
really
it?
good. What was really funny is it was they changed the location. We went twice actually. The first time was at the one in Croydon. What's it called?
Beckley Park or something?
Beckenham Park, yeah, Beckenham, whatever it is, Park. And then the second one was in Brockwell Park. And the second time, before we went in, I met my mum, and there was a fucking, what do you call them?
COVID.
One of those not crates. Oh. No, yeah, but what, like, you know, like a pop-up shipping crate, which they transformed into a COVID station where you could get the vaccine. Now, I personally chose not to get the vaccine for my own reasons, but my mum was team get the vaccine, you're going to die if you don't. So we're about to go into the fucking festival, and she decides that that's the time to try and get me to have the vaccine before we go into the festival. You know, never mind that you can have some sort of reaction to it. You might need to sit down afterwards. No. Before I'm about to rave and go dancing, like, she wants me to get the vaccine. So anyway, she tried to talk the woman. She went and spoke to the woman, and she tried to get her to speech me. And it was just the worst
like an
timing
intervention
ever.
when you turn up for them to get you in.
That 100%, it was an intervention, and I was so pissed off. I was like, you're not doing this right now. I just literally turned to this poor nurse woman who went, she started to give me a speech like, so, the dangers of this, and she tried to like read the stats to me or whatever, and I was like, I'm sorry, but it's a no. We're at a festival.
Yeah.
I was amazed. It's not happening.
I was amazed when I heard that they were like giving out the COVID, because they're trying to get younger people to do it. There's a lot of young people saying no. And they were going to places like Reading and Leeds and festivals trying to get people. I thought, hang on a minute. One, are people intoxicated? Should they be having an injection? Like, I'm pro injections and whatever, but I was like, is that really the time to give somebody an injection? It's one, just purely on the fact that, like, if they're intoxicated, can they make a decision on whether or not they want it or not? Is that not trying to coax them into something that they're not, maybe wouldn't have done normally? Like, just because they feel like it's the right thing to do, somebody else might not. So why use alcohol to then make that okay? So I thought that was a really odd place to go and give somebody an injection, for God's sake.
Yeah, who gets like high and then thinks, oh, do you know what would be really cool right now?
Yeah.
COVID vaccine. Should we see where we can get one?
Mind you, linking it back to me and my risk assessment, possibly I could have been looking... I'd be looking at the crowds thinking, oh, God, hang on a minute, I haven't had my COVID injection. There's thousands of people here and they're all in my breath. We're all breathing in each other's face. I know. I need the COVID injection. Is there any... But yes, there's a porta cabin over there. They're doing the injection. Thank God I can now go and get the injection before I go and party in there and start talking to people. So actually, maybe it did make sense because they were hoping for people like me whose minds were going over the top while they're on it. And they probably did get a few people to get it after all.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, better be safe than sorry.
No, but I absolutely love my parents. Honestly, they're just the best human beings in the world, and they
are so great. I do love your parents. Like, I've been on holiday with your parents, and they are properly a laugh.
They are honest. Do you know what? They can bloody out party anybody. My mum, my aunties, bloody hell, they go and go and go. They honestly, I don't know how they do it. They're absolutely mental. They are the party people. I wish I could catch up with them. I look at them in awe because they get up the next day. They never have a hangover. They get up and start cleaning up. I think, bloody hell, how do you do that? I can't do that. But they are wonderful.
Yeah, your parents are jokers.
I still feel guilty about the fact that I had a 16th birthday party, which I shared with one of our friends. And it got so out of hand because it was at a time where there was like you're 16, there's not many parties. And my mum and dad were looking after it with my friend's mum and dad, and it got so out of control. Loads of police stations had to come down. Like, my mum's hand was getting bottled because the boy was getting bottled, and my mum was putting her hand there to stop it.
Oh my
Someone was
God.
graffitiing all over the walls, and my
Not
dad
in your
was trying to clean it
house.
off.
In your house?
No. Thank God we hired a hall.
Okay, yeah. I remember those days. You'd hire like a little church hall or whatever, and all the kids would get together. But yeah, it didn't usually end up in people getting bottled and graffiti. Fuck.
No, my mum and dad handled it so well as well, and they never made me feel bad about it, but I still hold that to this day.
That's so
So thank you, mum and dad. Thanks for being amazing. I love you very much.
We have the nicest, cutest, loveliest parents. We are very, very lucky, aren't we?
Yeah.
We love you, my parents who aren't listening.
And then after they've listened to the podcast, they're thinking, well, we thought we had the loveliest, cutest daughters, but actually, they're pretty feral.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, I think that's it for this week. It's been a pleasure as always, Jess. You know what time it is now, though.
It's the wisdom tip. As I said before, if anybody's got any wisdom tips they'd like to share with me so that I can share to everybody else, I'd appreciate it because I'm running out. However, to make sure that you don't lose your friends at the rave, make sure you memorise their telephone numbers. Me and Ashley once went on holiday, and you know what it's like day 6, 7 of the holiday, and it's just you and them, and you've sort of ran out of things to say and talk about at lunch. We then learned each other's phone numbers off by heart. So that was quite a fun lunch. And as a result, when Ashley's phone got nicked in central London out of his hand, he was able to call me. So I'd say, guys, remember your loved ones' phone numbers like we did back in the day. And then if you ever lose them, you need to borrow someone's phone, you know who to call.
Boom.
Was that a good one?
Yeah. I remember me and you did the same thing. I've got a really clear memory of me and you lying in your bed in your parents' house and doing the same thing and for ages going back and forth and me being like, you being like 831 or whatever. No, it's 832. And then us testing each other. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. But I don't remember your phone number.
Well, my number changed. It used to end in 999, which I thought was so cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But really, you were hoping it ended in 69, 69, 69.
Just like my email address. Exactly.
Cool. All right, mate. Well, have another good week. I'll catch up with you soon. And to everybody at home that's listening, thanks very much. Please keep sharing. Please keep listening. Please keep following because we love doing this and we want to keep on doing it.
Yes. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.